All right, this is 10.6 over circles and arcs. First, we're going to review how to find circumference of a circle. As a reminder, circumference of a circle is that distance around the circle. And that equation is 2 times pi times r, where r equals the radius. So remember, r is halfway across the circle. Okay, so our new portion is we're going to be finding arc length. So arc length is a portion of the circumference of a circle. Okay, so if you look over here, we'll be finding how long it is from just A to B. So instead of finding the distance all the way around the circle, we're just finding a portion of the circle. So the equation to be able to do that is the measure of arc AB divided by 360 degrees times 2 pi r. So you'll see that 2 pi r is the same as the circumference. So we're still using that. We're just adding an additional fraction to the equation. Okay, so now we're going to practice finding the circumference of circles just to get that practiced again. So the formula for that is 2 pi r, where r is the radius, and our radius is 9 centimeters. So we're taking 2 times pi times 9. But instead of multiplying the 2 and the 9 together, everything together, we're just doing 2 times 9, which is 18, and then adding that pi to the end. So we're going to practice that because that's how we're going to write our answers as we get further into it. So instead of multiplying the pi in your calculator, you're just multiplying the 2 and the 9. Okay, and let's try that again. Find the circumference of a circle that has a diameter of 4 inches. So since this is diameter, we have to cut this in half. So our radius would be 2. So our circumference is 2 pi r. So we're going to use 2 for our radius. So again, we're just multiplying 2 and 2 together, so we get 4 times pi. And that would be in inches. Okay, the next two questions, we are given the circumference of the circle, but we do not have the radius. So we're going to be working backwards. So our circumference is 26 meters, and that is equal to 2 pi r. So what we're going to do is be solving for r. So to get r by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. Okay, so then that's going to cancel out over here. So then we just have radius on this side. And then we have 26 divided by 2, which is 13 divided by pi. So we're going to write our answer as 13 over pi. And then this was meters. And we're just going to leave our answer like that. Okay, so don't actually type in the pi into your calculator. All we're doing is just taking 26 divided by 2 to get that 13. Okay, let's try that one more time. Find the radius of a circle with their circumference of 13 meters. So we've got 13 equals 2 pi r. So again, we're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. So then the radius is equal to, and then 13 and 2 don't divide evenly, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So I'm just going to leave our answer like that. So since that would give us a decimal, we're just going to leave it as a fraction. Okay, and that's how you find the radius if you're given the circumference. Okay, now we're going to practice finding the arc length. So this is where this equation is going to be used. We're going to use it down here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that formula down. Okay, so we've got the measure of arc AB divided by 360 times 2 pi r. So all I did was just copy that formula down. Okay, so what goes into this spot is this angle that goes right there. So we're going to have 60 divided by 360. Okay, so that 360 stayed the same. And then times. And then here we're going to bring that 2 pi down. And then our radius is this 8. Okay, so all I did right now is just plug in what we know. And then now what I'm going to do is simplify it all together. So we're going to start with this fraction. So I'm going to do 60 divided by 360. Okay, so I hit enter. And then I can go to the math button and change that to a fraction. And that is 1/6. Okay, and then we have 2 times 8, which is 16 pi. Okay, and then our last step is to combine the fraction with the number. So I'm going to take that 1/6 that was right there times the 16. And again, it gives me a decimal, so I'm going to use the math button to change that to a fraction. So 8/3 pi and meters. Okay, so let's try another one. So we are going to have the measure of arc EF divided by 360 times 2 pi r. Okay, so that arc is 75 degrees divided by 360 times 2 pi times the radius is 3. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is simplify this fraction. So 75 divided by 360 is 5/24. And then 2 times 3 is 6. And leave the pi. Okay, and then we're going to combine all of this. So we have 5/24. Whoops. And times 6. And turn that to a fraction. So 5/4 pi. Okay, and then we've got one more example. Okay, so our formula, the measure, so we're doing of arc GH divided by 360 times 2 pi r. Okay, so all I've done is copy down the formula, doing the same steps as over here. Okay, so our arc is 240. So 240 over 360. And then 2 pi times 11. Okay, so my first step is to simplify this fraction. So that's 2/3 times 2 times 11 is 22 pi. Okay, then my last step is to combine these numbers. So I have 2/3 times 22 and change that to a fraction. So 44/3 pi meters. Okay, and that is 10.6